you could end depression for good. Now, I mean, really, your state of depression, your times where you're really in that place of horrible depression. Now, of course, we're going to have difficulties in our lives. We're going to have things where we feel down and all of that, but they don't, because we have to. We have to have these different feelings of emotion so we can understand what's going on in our lives. But when we're in the place where we're depressed and been there a long time, then there's something else going on. And I can talk about this because I've had it many, many times in my life. And it started when I was quite young. And that didn't make any sense to me. Why would I be depressed as a kid? I haven't even lived much life then, but it went on. And then there were other things that happened where it would have been understandable maybe where I would have been depressed. There would have been a reason. There was an excuse why I would have been depressed. One time was when I went through a horrible medical condition that lasted for a long time, and I was in incredible pain, and I just so many things that happened during that time, and I didn't even know that I was depressed, because the doctor told me I was clinically depressed. And so at that point I had to take medication because I wasn't doing anything. Nothing was happening. But then I remembered, wait a minute, I've had other times that felt similar to this, that felt not quite as bad. It wasn't clinical, where I needed medication, but I was depressed. I knew that. Why was that going on? Why was that happening? And I struggled with this for so long because I had to keep answering the questions. That's just the nature of who I am. I need to know. And plus, it was miserable being in that place and where I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to see anyone. Nothing was going to work. And so what can I do? So then I started understanding what the cause was. And it had gone on my entire life. The cause was I just wasn't being myself. I was denying who I was. I had this ability even as a child, and that's why I think it started then, because I didn't understand it. I had this ability to receive information. I was intuitive, but it made me uncomfortable because no one else understood this, and so I was going to just keep it hidden. But what I ended up doing was programming myself into submission. Basically, let me not talk about this. Let me not own who I am. And so when you become depressed, you are suppressing, denying something within you, because we all have the ability to change that, you see. Now, when I went and had the medication, I did the medication for a while, and then I got to a place where I thought, I don't know if I need it. I wasn't sure, and so I had to talk to a doctor, and I had to decide, because I felt different, and I needed to know, how did that happen? And then I started studying a little bit of neuroscience. I understood how the medications that I were taking were changing my brain chemicals, but I wanted to know, how did my brain chemicals get all screwed up? They got screwed up because of the way that I was thinking. And the way that I was thinking, it wasn't all my fault, because it was what I learned. You see, we all come into the world in different families, different countries, different places, different experiences, all of that, and we pick up that information. And if we decide that we're going to believe it, and especially if it's something that's telling us we're not enough or we can't do something, we're going to end up being depressed. Or if we start denying ourselves because other people tell us, no, you can't do this, that's not, you don't have this, we're going to be depressed. Because we're now shutting down who we are. And so what I had to go on was this journey of self-discovery. That's the most difficult thing, because a lot of us aren't willing to do that. Except the genius thing about that is you end up with everything that you want in your life. So why wouldn't we do it? We don't do it because we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to admit to ourselves that we screwed up something or we didn't know something. We don't want to admit that we did something that didn't take us in the right direction, so maybe that was a mistake. We don't want to look at that. And then when we don't look at it, we can't get the wisdom from it. We can't get what we learned and how it's caused us to be different now, because we're always evolving from every experience that we've ever had. And so once you start understanding this, you start changing your brain. That's the way that this works. It's the only way that it works. You can take medication forever, and you'll still probably need it because you're not doing the work that is causing you to change the ideas within you that have caused you to become depressed. It is a fit now. It takes a while, but it's doable. And that's why I said, can you end it for good? Yes. I don't have those states of horrible depression anymore. I get down. I get times where I'm sad and I get upset about things. All of those things come up. But I'm talking about those states where you're really depressed and you don't want to go on. And I had a wonderful experience with some of my clients where I've seen this happen, where I wasn't even sure that this work, this change, because it's cognitive behavior change that we're working with, changing your brain, which you have control over. When we're using that, it all depends on the individual doing it to receive the result. And I had one person that I didn't know that this was going to work, but then I saw the result. And I know, okay, if they can do it, anyone can do it. So we can decide that we're going to go on the journey of ending these periods, these long trails of periods of depression, by deciding we're going to inject something different, and what that's going to be is us accepting who we are, becoming ourselves, and doing what we came to the world to do, to offer, whatever that might be, because every single person has it, and when you are doing that, you're never in a state of depression.